And we're back with our next guest. We have Yanesh of the German metal band Agathodaimon. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Welcome.
Tell us a little bit about the band from starting over 25 years ago, kind of split up and then getting back together, just so we just have a little bit of a history.
Yeah. So Agathodaimon was in the 90s was one of the first German black metal bands, but we were never like this hyper true church burning black metal band. We always had this gothic vibe to it. So people coined us dark metal. And in 2009, we released our final record, In Darkness. And split up in 2014, and because of several reasons, mostly because of family stuff, and the focus just switched more to family. And in 2018, the idea came up to regroup the band, and now Sathanis and Ashrael, the original guitarist and singer, started to plan this whole comeback thing. And I was asked to join in the late, because I auditioned in 2019, and then we wanted to do this huge comeback in 2020, and basically 2 weeks before the first lockdown. So our comeback just pretty much got stopped. And yeah, now we are here. The record was released few days ago, and yeah, we are really happy to be back.
Well, that's what we're here today to talk about, your new album 7. Lots of symbolism going on. First of all, it's your 7th full-length album, but also tell us about the meaning of the number 7 thematically and how it kind of pertains to the material on this album.
So yeah, like you said, it's the 7th record in our discography. So the idea was early there to focus on the 7 sins, but in the early writing process, we figured out, man, the subject was so people talked about it so often, you know, in good ways, in bad ways, but it is a subject we don't necessarily can contribute to. So we opened up the topic a little bit more. So for example, the sin of gluttony focused more on the terms of overusing some substances and stuff like that. So we got a little bit more, we tackled the subject more freely, I guess. Yeah, but 7 is a magical number. We meet it all the time, come from the 7 sins or 7 days and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it makes a lot of sense to us.
So you said that you came in the band after it split up and got back together. Yeah. So now you're working with the original members. So how did this writing process go now that you're kind of like the new guy and you're in there with the old guy? And what can, fans expect musically from this album?
So from what I heard from Sathanis, Agathodaimon was always this kind of free band. So everyone was allowed to contribute. And it feels the same. So being a new guy in the band, I can still come up with ideas, and they are not being like, okay, youngling, just play bass, go in your corner. But yeah, but Sathanis is really making sure that we don't get lost in different sounds. So, for example, the lead guitarist Nakatev is really into power metal, which you may hear in his melodic kind of playing, but Agathodaimon will never sound like a power metal band because the rest of the band doesn't like that genre that much. But everyone is allowed to contribute his own unique style into the band. And yeah, but it's still an Agathodaimon record. There's nothing overly new. We don't start with like agro-tech beats or anything like that. There's no dubstep remix of any song, but yeah, you have these new power metal melodies as far as you can tell. There are a lot more bass fills because I consider myself a pretty okay bass player, so I want to show that to everyone. So and yeah, so this is our way of going into the songwriting again.
So for anybody that doesn't follow the band on your social media pages, when you reveal certain songs, there's also artwork for each song. So tell us about the artist and what were like the wishes as to what you kind of wanted to portray to the audience with releasing art for every song.
Yeah. So we met the guys of Credo Cuia Absurdum. It's artist couple from Portugal, and they have these amazing artworks for T-shirts and stuff like that. Just Google them; they're amazing. And so we contacted them. We met them at a festival and got into contact and asked them to do our our album cover. And they were glad we asked, and the album cover turned out so good that we asked them to contribute art for every song, because we are all maybe not all the oldest guys, but art is it's important for music. I think I remember the times when I was younger and just laying on my bed and scrolling through the booklet and enjoying every inch of it, you know. And so we wanted to get back into that mode. And so we asked them, and they were gladly contributing. And it's turned out to be one of my favorite booklets of all time. And yeah, I know I'm part of the band. I have to say this, but I'm completely honest, and I love it. I love it really.
Well, it is kind of nice that we get a visual too, and it kind of explains the art as how it pertains to the song too. So it's just, I thought that was nice, and the artwork is really good, so it makes a big difference, you know, if it was just like some stick figures on black and white and be like, that's interesting, but it's not. It's very, very visual, and the explanations are really good. And now the album and like each individual song is really beautifully composed and produced, and like there's clean singing, there's growling also, but you're also incorporating a few guests, both in your old vocalists and in our friend Julian from Benighted. So tell us about their parts on this album.
Yeah. So Julian was in contact with our singer Ashrael for a long time, and when we were recording the album, Julian was supposed to come over to the studio for doing something else, some completely different project. And we were like, hey, dude, you have this amazing voice. Are you interested in contributing a verse or something? And he was like, yeah, okay, sure, let's do this. And out came this this bizarre, crazy, insane sounding thing. When I heard it the first time, I was like, okay, this sounds like a ton of effects and stuff like that, but it's just him. Mm-hmm. And he's amazing. I just met him last weekend, and he's such an amazing guy, and it's so much fun talking to him. He's such a nice guy considering his music.
I know.
And the other one you're talking about is Vlad Dragul from Romania, who was the original singer on the first record. And he and Sathanis were in contact the whole time for the last 20, 30 years. And the idea just came up. He was sending some files over from his electronic project, and Sathanis was sending him some of our demos. And they came up with the idea, hey, maybe these two things could fit together. And yeah, one of the good things about the pandemic and everything is we got to learn a lot how to work via the internet, right? And yeah, Vlad was recording his stuff at home, sending us over, and now we have this amazing song, which is one of my favorite songs from the record. Mother of All Gods is by far one of my favorite songs on that record, and it has this unique vibe to it, and yeah, I love it.
So that's great, because then it gives like your, you know, old school fans a little special treat, because you have the old singers comes on there, and of course we all love Julian too. So I know I was going to ask if there's any particular song on this album but that you like best, but you just answered that.
Yeah.
So I know I don't really want to get too much into tours and stuff, but I'm sure you guys have some plans for the year. Is there what are the best websites, social media sites that people can go to find out what's going on? Because I might say, hey, they got this tour coming up and some shit might happen. It'll be canceled by the time this even airs.
Yeah.
So what are like the best websites that people could go to find out what's going on with the band and just see what's going on?
Yeah, you can check out under agathodaimon.de. This is our German website, and we have English there as well. And the usual stuff. You can find us on Facebook and on Instagram. We are connected there. And yeah, there we are pretty up to date, releasing stuff regularly, like you mentioned, the artwork. Yeah, and touring plans, gigs, everything's there.
Well, there you guys have it. Agathodaimon have a new album out on Napalm Records called 7. We're going to hear a few tracks off of it today. And Vaughn, thank you so much for coming on the show to tell us a bit about the new album, and we wish you all the best.
Thank you for having me. Have a nice one.